Just 30 seconds. What up, people of the world? We are live. Happy 5-year anniversary, slammiversary, podcast anniversary, whatever you want to call it. I am Matt. Along with me is Lauren, as always. And look, guys, I came dripped out. I got the Hercules Roosevelts. I got the Disney hat. Ooh, yeah, we are fired up tonight. I got a nice juice machine mango from Treehouse Brewing to celebrate. Everybody in the YouTube chat asking why we're early. Patrick, I don't know, man, because we had time to go early. I'm sorry.
Because we intentionally made it a few minutes late to give ourselves cushion. So, of course, we finished our previous one on proper time. So
here's the deal. We just had an excellent interview with Ben and Rachel, who have a great comic out now. And so we will be dropping that tomorrow from Dark Horse Comics. And we gave ourselves time. We're like, well, what if things go wrong? Such as my internet died out during the episode and I had to do all sorts of crazy stuff. And so here we are now. And if you guys are just joining in on YouTube for the first time, make sure you hit subscribe and hit the notification button. That's how you can always, we haven't been live in a little while. But normally we're going to do an actual episode. So you guys get to see a live episode where we're going to break down what we've been reading, watching, and then we don't really have any news, but we are going to talk about our favorite moments of podcasting for the last 5 years, some comic moments, some guest moments. And if you are in the chat, drop your favorite moments as well. It's been a while since me live. So, I don't need defending. There's people up in the chat as is already. Listen, but Kat's all that matters because everybody wants to shun me, but Kat doesn't. So everybody else, you're fired. Kat, you're in. Lauren, what are you drinking? Like I said, I got a juice machine mango from Treehouse Brewing, and I'm going to take my hat off real quick.
Well, I'm not a quitter, so I'm not taking my ears off. I'm drinking a Reaper Ripper from Sideward Brewing, and look how cute that can art is. They got a bunch of new IPAs the other day, so we had to get them all. This is actually a West Coast IPA. And I, of course, have it in my hopsgeeknews class.
My mom's here for the first time. Lauren's mom is usually the one that listens, but my mom showed up for the live, so it's the battle.
Your mom's been more active than my mom on recent lives.
That's fair. That's, recent lives. We haven't done this in a while. But you got some new IPAs? Where's that one from again? I'm sorry.
Where do you think, if you could guess?
Sideward.
Yes.
Listen. I love Sideward. Big fan, huge fan. Sideward is down there in Orlando, Florida. We're drinking our local brews, man. It's pretty exciting. I'm pretty excited for that. I had a couple technical difficulties, but make sure you guys go ahead and share out everywhere. Pat wanted me to buy a popcorn bucket. I got a crypto back there. I didn't need the Fantastic Four car.
My segment popcorn bucket.
Yeah, I got a few back there, actually. There's a Sonic one somewhere I owe Megan, and I have the Clone Wars one back there. I got my Jawa, got Legos. What's up to our friend Andrew, the Maynard Brewer, Mrs. Matt's mom. We apologize for how we treat your son tonight. Dude, she will talk more shit to me than you guys will. I promise you that. But we can't go into the spoiler of what our comic books are this week because New Comic Book Day is tomorrow. However, I can tell you that I reviewed for number one, Godzilla versus America issue 1 is actually Godzilla versus Boston. And so, I had to take that one to review it. So that's from IDW Publishing. That comes out tomorrow. I may or may not be dropping a review video on our channels of me in my Dunkin' Donuts jacket with a Dunk's iced coffee with my full spoiler-filled review. But it is 4 mini stories inside of this of Godzilla, and it's really goes in depth in Boston and does a really great job talking about the city itself. And, it just felt like home to me is the best way I can put that issue. So that's a good one. I read the California vacation, beach vacation.
California?
Yeah. It's California Superman where that is
Clever.
basically a bunch of mini stories again from a bunch of really cool comic book creators who just tell stories of the Superman family. They're all wanting to be on vacation. Things keep happening. It's from DC Comics. That one was great. The Thing issue 3 from Marvel Comics. Ben Grimm is out there trying to save a little girl. Kingpin has unleashed this time Hammerhead, but now you got some other people going out there after you're going after the little
Dude,
girl. We
that
don't know
one's
what her purpose.
relentless.
It
I
is.
read that. It's relentless,
But
man.
I will say that Ben Grimm's awesome. He's talking so much crap, and he's
Yeah.
also confused because they're hitting him with like, in this one, spoiler. I'm sorry, this is the only spoiler I can drop before Marvel cancels me. It's Bullseye throws a license plate at Ben Grimm, and he's like, "Did you just throw a license plate at me, dude?" So that one was great. And then Spider-Man and Wolverine issue 3. Mark Guggenheim is on that one. They are in the Savage Land now. It's really freaking good. And Peter doesn't know if he can trust Logan. They had their big blowout fight, and so things went.
It's been good. I've really been enjoying that one.
Cat reviewed Monster High, World Scare. IDW still killing it. She'll be pleased to know that Ben Kahn, who we just interviewed, is going to be doing Monster High issues in October. So I've already spoke with Cat about that. Disney stoked, but
And
Lauren.
he said he'll be at New York Comic Con to sign some Monster High comics.
Ooh,
So I did Savage Wolverine. So that's a
okay.
new run. It's the first issue. And just so you know, go to nerdinitiative.com tomorrow and you can see our full reviews on all these comics. And I also did What If Goofy Became Spider-Man? And
I
I
looked
had
at the art. That art was fun.
that art is a lot of fun. All that art, the Disney crossover art, has all been phenomenal and so cute. And so, what this whole thing's been about is like, because the Wolverine one I absolutely love because it was based on Old Man Logan. So, they're taking actual comic book stories and they're spinning it on their head and making it Mickey and the Big Five, like the Mickey and Goofy and everybody. So, this was What If Goofy Became Spider Man? And I had Logan, Logan and I read it together. My son is 8. And I was like, I'm asking him, so what did you think of it? You know, how would you rate it? Da, 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 da. And the only thing I will say is when I asked him about the art, he goes, the art was magnificent. So
Magnificent, he says.
magnificent. So yes, head to nerdinitiative.com tomorrow for those full reviews. And there's a whole bunch of real reviews will be dropped on the TikTok and the YouTube and the Instagram as well.
That's right. My mom told me to shout out her friend Kabongo. I hope I said that right. So hi. Well, thank you for watching us. And if anybody in the chat, drop your chat what comic books you're looking forward to tomorrow's new comic book day. There's a lot of really good ones out there. Every single property has essentially been killing it. San Diego Comic-Con had a lot of really great drops. You know, Skybound Entertainment probably had the best San Diego Comic-Con as far as, you know, properties go. Image, all of them have been great. Ghost Machine had a relatively quiet one. However, you know, they've been dropping multiple comics a month, but I do think we are getting closer to First Ghost because the latest issue of Redcoat
waiting for that forever
mentions First Ghost actually. So they have a reference. So it was issue 13, which is out, so I can kind of talk about it. But you know, that one references First Ghost, which is awesome. But Ghost Machine really has something for everybody. Pat is still looking for a copy of Godzilla Kills. You mean like this, Patrick? I'm sorry. Let me see if my comic book has it. I'm sorry that I sent Pat a box today, and I should have included that. So if I can find an extra copy, Pat, I got you. But Kabongo, thank you, man. Hey, you're new, excited to join. We love to talk comic books, movies, TV shows. We typically drink a beer of the week. This week, we're celebrating our 5-year podcasting anniversary, so we are going to talk about, you know, our favorite moments and things like that. And
so this episode will be a little off the norm.
It's a little off the norm, yes. However, we did just release our Fantastic Four episode where we spoiler reviewed that. We've got deep dives into comic books. To get you ready for any movie coming out, we review movies, a lot of that good stuff. I haven't watched anything. I actually have been watching the back half of season 12 of Supernatural for when we record that, so I have my mind refreshed a little bit. You'll be pleased to know.
It is fun rewatching. It's better the second time, man. So speaking of Supernatural, I have been watching the Countdown show. I did give it a
Jensen, yeah.
Tom, I'm not kidding. You are actually mentioned in my top con moments, so you do get a mention. So
wow.
Countdown.
I'm not even in there. Yancey, my boy, get up in here. That's right. Thank you guys for hanging out. I can't believe that Tom's mentioned. I'm not. It's cool. Tom and I were gonna spoon.
How are you not mentioned? Every other nod is I was with you at the con.
I just assumed I wasn't, just because you were trying to replace me with a different host today, DT. So
I think digress. DT was trying to replace you.
DT,
but I mean, DT would be a good co-host. And he's my age, so he
First
wouldn't
of
make
all,
fun of me
my
for
wife
being
is
old all the
downstairs eating my
time.
box of Bunch of Crunch, and now I got this thrown at me. I can't do this.
So,
Can't do this. I need a
countdown.
raise.
This is the new show on Amazon that Jensen Ackles is starring in. It is a ragtag team of like DEA and LAPD and all these different people pulled together to make a team, and they're trying to stop a terrorist attack from happening on U.S. soil. So they're like, we don't need another 9/11 kind of thing. But here's the catch: is Jensen Ackles' character has a brain tumor. He
Catch
doesn't
what?
have long to
Whoa,
live,
wait a second. He's got a
and
brain
he's
tumor? It's
he's
not a
not.
tumor.
But he wants to go down fighting. Very, very much so. Dean Winchester in
Yes.
him. The show's good and it has good characters and actors
Is
and a
it
good
good?
story. But when Jensen's not on screen, I find myself wanting to fast forward.
Okay. Is that okay, legitimately though?
I
When
don't
he's
know
not
if
on screen,
that's
is it
just me.
bias or is it
I
legitimately
don't
okay?
know. I don't
Because
know.
the way you said the show is good, it didn't sound convincing very much. So I was like, all right, all right, all right.
Whereas like The
Um,
Boys is phenomenal even when he's not on screen. It just is
right.
a little bit better when he's on screen. But
Yeah.
I said I wasn't gonna. I also don't like procedural cop shows. I'm only
I
watching
don't
Friends.
either. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of them either. I am a big fan of B-rated horror, which I was getting a tattoo this past weekend. Disney one, go figure. And now I already can't remember. I think I still have the picture of the movie I need to watch. So I need to watch that. I just haven't had any time really to get to watch anything other than one night I'm laying on the couch. Carrie comes back home. She's like, "Are you watching Supernatural?" And I was like, "Dude, obviously, like, come on." But the movie's Psycho Gorman, my tattoo artist. Hey, thanks, Rose. The Velts, baby. Hercules. You mean Huncules?
Hercules.
Yeah. Speaking of which, the Destiny got the Hercules show. I'm still waiting for Lauren to commit to booking that with me. So
Oh, I'm
uh,
gonna commit. We're going back on the Wish in a few weeks, and then we're gonna book another placeholder.
I'm going on the Wish too in December. I can't wait. I can't say it loud because they don't know, but he's in the room next door. It's
I was
for
gonna say
Christmas
I like
this year.
secrets too.
And we got a 50% off the third and fourth booking, so it's cheaper. Anyways,
Woohoo!
I will be doing a placeholder, which that placeholder will be going towards obviously our Destiny trip because it is our destiny. Now, uh, yeah, of course. Kabongo, my mom is telling me that you're a very big, wicked big Marvel fan. Well, boy, we got just the place for you. We have a lot of episodes, so get ready for that. But I need to watch Psycho Gorman. Basically, it's an intergalactic assassins converge on a small town after two siblings unwittingly resurrect an alien overlord, which I think DT, I got him to watch this weekend. So I'm gonna watch it. And DT is actually my son. Thank you so much.
Oh, is this like a time traveling cable situation?
Basically, I'm Franklin Richards, man. Police procedurals were something I wasn't going to get into. New Year's Day this year. What
Ooh,
happened on New Year's Day this year?
yeah. It's funny. I think Kat actually had posted about Countdown in the Nerd Initiative Discord, and I was like, I don't really like police, procedural shows. And then a couple of my friends started watching, and they're like, just give it a chance. And I kept seeing clips of it.
Well, Tracy, was it Tracy or Tabby we're watching
I think it
it?
was both.
Okay, that makes sense. I haven't gotten really a chance. I've been playing video games. Yes, Psycho Gorman. We're gonna get together and watch the next
Psycho
actual.
Gorman.
It's a cheesy movie. We'll save it for Halloween for you. Screamboat is going to be. I can tell you right now, guys. Screamboat is going to be a Halloween film that we watch and talk about and review this year for Halloween. It's basically Steamboat Mickey, the size of a little mouse, played by the guy who plays. Hey, look at us! Look at us! You got.
Look at us. Who
Does
would have
your
thought?
podcast? Does your
Who would
favorite
have thought?
podcast have their own classes? I didn't think so. We got two versions. He
I
plays the
broke
guy
my
from
other
Terrified.
one.
I still have my. Yeah, I do. The guy
I
who
broke my
plays
other one while
Art the
recording.
Clown also plays Screamboat. So we didn't get to see at MegaCon this year the screening, unfortunately, because it took a long time. But it's okay. We'll get there. However, this is going to be dropping Monday on podcast platforms. Monday is when we always drop our episodes typically. And by the time this comes out, some news for you guys. All episodes of The Eyes of Wakanda will be out on Disney Plus. I'm very pumped for this. Lauren, how are you feeling about some Eyes of Wakanda?
I'm very excited for it. I love anything like Black Panther, and I feel like with him passing, I loved Wakanda Forever, but I
Gibson.
do feel like we missed out on some great storylines and obviously a lot of Chadwick Boseman
Gibson.
because he was amazing.
Yes,
So
agreed.
I haven't watched any trailers. I don't know exactly what we're expecting. I gave up watching trailers probably about a year ago. It was after Deadpool and Wolverine, so like exactly a year ago because
Oh
I
yeah,
felt like
yeah, yeah.
watching Deadpool and
You
Wolverine, I'm
haven't.
like
I'm very
I've
proud of you,
seen
by the way,
a
because
third
I
of
could
this.
never.
It's making I feel like the movie so much better. It's like even with like Captain America, I had no idea they mentioned adamantium, so I was so excited in the theater when
Oh
they mentioned
yeah.
it.
I
So
like that movie. Not for nothing. Marvel has been doing really well this year. I've really enjoyed Captain America: Brave New World. I've enjoyed Thunderbolts. I've
um,
enjoyed Fantastic Four,
Daredevil,
despite its issues.
Ironheart,
We've got Daredevil, Ironheart all came out this year, and we still have Eyes of Wakanda. We've got Wonder Man still
Wonder
to come
Man.
out. I'm very pumped for Wonder Man. And then we got the Punisher special presentation and Daredevil Born Again season 2, which the comic box I got today actually. A friend of mine is giving me his entire comic book collection. 12 long boxes full of comic books from the 90s through however long he was collecting. So basically right around the new
Wow.
52, okay? So like I found issue 0 of the new 52 Batman from Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, which got me back into
Oh,
comics
that's
actually,
cool.
which is pretty rad. And so in there though, this box I got today was obviously Iron Man 3's prelude comic. Ugh. But
Hey, Iron Man 3 is not that bad. It's
I
better
got
than
just
I like it more than Iron Man 2.
come on, man. Too much Iron Man 2 hate up in here. However, that's not the point because I got 23, 24 issues of the Man Without Fear Daredevil run that I've never actually read yet. So I'm pretty pumped to go issue by issue versus having that. Like, I know we can get the trade. I highly recommend if you're getting into comic books because of Superman. It's really incredible. This actually is news because of Superman's gigantic. It's a hit. It's crossed over 500 million, for example, at the box office. It actually has even outperformed fantastic. Not that it's first of all, it's not a competition. I'm a DC guy. Marvel's a Lauren girl. However, we love both of these things,
I'm a
and
Lauren girl.
we got some
True.
questions.
I'm
Lauren's a
Lauren and
Marvel. Did
I'm
I
a
say you're a
girl.
Lauren girl? I'm sorry.
You
I thought you
did.
Marvel girl. But because of the success of Superman, people can't keep their shelves stocked with comic books,
Hell, I got
particularly
a
Superman
stack of
comics right now.
Superman comics right here.
Yeah, and so get the $10 compendiums. I've read Superman Birthright, All-Star Superman. You can get The Death of Superman. You can get Batman. All these like really cool. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow is what I recommend reading by
Ooh,
Tom
my
King.
comics.
If
It's
you're
in my
going to,
box. I got to go pick it up. Yeah, I'm very excited to read that.
yes, I recommend reading that. And then the Absolute Run, you know, is amazing. The Absolute Run from like Scott Snyder and just DC right now, Absolute Heater, whether it's Zatanna, Flash,
I'm
all
liking
are
Martian
very
Manhunter.
good.
I
Yeah,
think it's really
that's the
good. I think you
weakest
got
one,
to
but we
give
have
it another
Absolute Green
chance.
Arrows getting ready to come out.
But
I
it's
will.
gotten
It's
better.
actually it's been renewed for a next arc, and so I
Ah,
will go into that. And they're on break, I think, until December, until they do a Christmas issue. So I'll go ahead and I'll get back into it to check it out because Christmas is also Wonder Woman and Batman teaming up for the first time in the Absolute series, and I'm pretty pumped for that too.
when you're going to be here before
But
Christmas so I can lend you my
oh,
copies.
I will have to lend you. I'm going to bring you some comics because obviously I'm getting tons of these as well. I'm getting a lot of X-Men and Wolverine ones, so you know. But
It's
yeah,
exciting.
Kat says that Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow is fantastic. Still might be her number one DC. Ooh, and
Ooh,
that's the run they're
nice.
pulling from for Supergirl, which I'm super
Yeah.
pumped. Cannot
Yeah.
wait. Lauren is Jean Grey. She's a Marvel girl. You're right. You're right.
I was
That's
Jean
fair.
Grey for Halloween in like 2008, 9,
Uh,
2008. But I
Micah,
was
I see.
the movie one and
Mm,
wearing a red wig in October in Florida. It was hot. And
woof.
black leather. It was hot. I needed that yellow spandex.
Whoa, wait a second. Are you saying Mojo, my dad's mom has a volume 1 of Spider-Man? Might have to talk to
Ooh.
Bonnie there. But let's go into what do you want category you want to kick off with? This is our, you know, 5-year anniversary. So we're gonna talk top 5 favorite guest moments, episodes that we recommend you listen to because we actually like that they were good. Not all of our episodes. We're about almost 300 in now. This is episode 281, actually. Um,
Yeah, they're
believe it or
hit or
not. And
miss.
then we got
Sometimes
some comic convention moments. So, do you want to start with our guests? Kind of no big deal friends of the show, which Brian O'Halloran is a friend of the show. So I didn't put him on guests because he's family. Call me Dominic Toretto. He's family.
I have him on con moments. Yeah, we can start with
I do.
guests, and then then we have our favorites. We also have our least favorites too, and we got some comments in the Discord, so we'll mention those as well.
All right. Well, why don't you kick us off? What hit us with some of your favorite guest moments?
So one of my favorite is when we had Harrison Dula on, which is Vanessa
Vanessa
Marshall.
Marshall, yes.
Um, And so these are all moments, not the episode as a whole, because we've had so many fantastic guests. Like the couple that owned Woodland Empire came on 3 times, and they
Oh,
were
Rob and Keely. Yes,
phenomenal guests. Like we've
yes.
had so many great, we've had so many friends come on. Tim's always a great, here's your Tim Stanley cameo. Tim's always a great guest. Micah is like overflowing with knowledge. DT, of course, is a fantastic
Yes.
co-host, and then you kick me off the show when he comes on, and then you guys just continue on without me.
Yes, we do. You go to the chair. Never mind.
Okay, so here are though my top 5 moments. So this was hard to like go through. So Hera was picked. Vanessa was picked because when I asked her how she felt when she heard Hera Syndulla mentioned over the comms in Rogue One, learning that her character was canon to Star Wars, and this was before Ahsoka and the Disney Plus shows and everything, and she got emotional answering the question.
She started to like cry and everything, and it's truly, if you don't know who Hera Syndulla is, and we recommend watching the Rebels series for Star Wars, and she's even in Ahsoka season 1.
Yeah,
she's kind of like the mother. That's what I just said. She's kind of like the mother of the rebellion, essentially. So she plays her voice, which is amazing. And God, it was a good episode. Continue. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. But just the way she got emotional, it's like when the actor gets emotional about the character you're in love with, it makes your like feelings feel valid. Like, not to knock Stephen Amell, I love Green Arrow, but it made me like his character a little less when I saw him make fun of somebody for a comic book question at MegaCon. I was like, what is like this? Why is he doing that? And whereas
you're
truly
Green Arrow speaking at a comic convention to a bunch of nerds, dude. Like, come on.
Yeah, he was kind of like a little irritated. It was the first time I had ever seen him at a con, so I was surprised. And I've heard other stories from other people that seems to track. But I think that's also why I love, Supernatural.
Me personally, who've met him a couple times, so never mind.
Yeah, you keep running into him. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So she's my number one just because I love
hates everybody.
that we brought her to that place, and it felt so special that she shared that emotion with us. I freaking loved that.
Yeah. Absolutely recommend, listening to that episode as a whole. It was a great interview. She also does a lot of really cool voice acting in video games too. So I think Metal Gear Solid is one of them. They actually did like a convention for Metal Gear Solid, which is pretty dope. She's at a lot of comic conventions. They've been doing a lot of Star Wars Rebels, get-togethers again with the Freddie Prinze Jr. even has been a part of these and all of that. But I would say my number one, honestly, this is hard because we've had Jeff Johns and Scott Snyder both, and I'm going to go Scott Snyder because he's the reason why I got back into comic books. So getting to basically chat
to him.
Yeah, basically getting to chat for 2 hours, and he's going to come up again in my convention moments. But because you said Vanessa Marshall, I don't want to have two of the same things because we have a couple same. So I'm going to drop her to put Jeff Johns in because getting to interview Jeff Johns and really talk about Ghost Machine and, really no big deal, but we're Swato friends of the show. He knows us, right? He knows us, but getting to do some work for Ghost Machine and getting to talk and pick Jeff's, brain about Flash and Green Lantern and Batman, these two comic book creators are two of the most influential people for me on my comic book journey and my nerd journey. So I would say Scott Snyder's one, and I'll go number 2 would be Jeff Johns, just because those are just incredible. Who do you have as your number 2?
Oh, okay. So my number 2, it's got to be Jeremy Adams, and we just had him on. He was a phenomenal guest. That whole episode's great. So we spent half the time talking Aquaman, which was really cool, and I loved that his inspiration for bringing the Nautilus in was from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea at Disney and like Japan. I was like, well, yeah, I love you even more now. But he also wrote 3 episodes of Supernatural, and he didn't just write 3 episodes. He wrote 3 great episodes. He wrote Scooby Natural. The Mrs. Butters episode, and the one where Dean sings good. He wrote all 3 of those.
Yeah, in the final season, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Roadhouse episode.
Favorite moment was when I asked about the Mjolnir, because I don't know if anybody remembers, like Sam got the Mjolnir when they were like when the day Crowley like auctioned the moon or whatever, and they were Kevin was there and Mrs. Tran and whatnot, and we never see it again. And he specifically asked where it was, and he wanted to use it in that episode, and I love that. And he fixed a couple plot holes that were in the whole show. So like I highly recommend if you like Supernatural, going back and listening to that. And he is, again, he's was passionate about the show before he was writing for it. And I think that's why his episodes were so good, because he knows the characters so well and he's a fantastic writer.
He's also, not for nothing, currently doing the All In Aquaman series for DC Comics,
Which
which
is really
is
good.
really it's basically, Lauren, she was talking about how it has Nemo in it, for example, not the fish, but 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. They're in a submarine and everything. But
Well, the
this is,
fish was named after Captain
yes,
Nemo. Yeah.
literally though, this is an adventure comic book. It's Indiana Jones if he was Aquaman, going on these really cool adventures, is capturing the spirit of Aquaman. He's a reluctant king. He cares about his people. And so it's him on this journey to get the people of Atlantis and Mira who have been taken. He's trying to get them back. And he can also do a couple other things, such as he has Mira's abilities in this run too. And so he's learning how to use them, for example. And so there's a really cool scene, not to spoil a lot, but he pulls like the blood out of his body and uses that as a weapon. And it's just
water.
It's insane. It just, in the
Yeah.
colors and everything that is going on in that book at the same time, it is top tier. It will get you back into Aquaman if you've never done it. So that's so good. He's on my list as well. I'm gonna go also though Tyrell Cannon, Kenny Porter, and Ryan Stegman, because they were on for an episode
That
of The
was fun,
Schlub
yeah.
from Image Comics. They were awesome. First of all, Ryan Stegman is known for an insane X-Men, Venom. Kenny Porter's done Superboy, and Tyrell Cannon, he's been on the show a couple times, and he says he likes to listen to us while he draws. No big
I
deal.
know, he's so sweet. I got to meet him in
It's,
New York. Yeah.
It's truly, those three created a really great comic book called The Schlub, where it's essentially this big superhero and this fat divorced dentist switch bodies. And
Such
from
a good
there,
comic. Yeah.
it's such a good comic from Image Comics. It's all out now. I think you can get the trade and everything like that. Go ahead, make
Yes,
sure
I
you check
actually
that out.
bought the trade from him in New York and had him sign it. So I was like,
Oh, that's so
perfect. I
cool.
mean, we had already gotten to read it, but yeah, I wanted to have
I
it.
was so hungover at MegaCon, not this year, but last year, and I had Ryan Stegman. Remember, it was that really bad. Lauren just died. I don't know what happened, but anyways, funny story, maybe not. We MegaCon 2024. We got press passes. We went to emo night. I drank a lot. The next day is Sunday. I'm dying. I go to Stegman and I'm like trying to formulate conversations. I cannot formulate conversations. It was embarrassing for myself, but he still came on the show afterwards. And so he signed one of my copies of The Schlub because it was just hilarious. But who else do you have? I know there's a couple good ones in here.
So Eric and Julia Lewald, who did the X-Men animated series, and we have Micah to thank for hooking that up. We got to interview them on that, and so I had never watched the cartoon, so I'm trying to watch it as quick as I can to get ready.
Who are
for
they though?
X-Men
For somebody who might not know out there.
So, well, yeah, they wrote the first X-Men animated series, and they were part of
the X-Men the animated
97 series. But what was so cool is like I got, into this just like brand new as an adult, and I'm just like catching up, and it was more like, because we have some interviews that Matt's more excited and some that I'm more excited. And once we got into it, I was like, wow, these people really shaped my childhood as well. Like when I found out, so this is how we found out that Eric also wrote for Winnie the Pooh, because he compared writing the X-Men, how he writes Winnie the Pooh. He's like, well, there's a line that like is definitely Wolverine, just like there's a line that's definitely Eeyore. Like Winnie the Pooh is not going to say, oh, bother. And I was like, you just compared like Wolverine to Eeyore, like two of my literal favorite things. And I told him,
insane.
But what made it even cooler, I told him, I go, if I flip my laptop around, you would see all my Pooh Bear, Beanie Babies over here and my Pooh Bear picture up there. And they printed copies of the first script of X-Men, and they sent me a script of Winnie the Pooh and signed it. And I have the script actually signed and framed right there next to my Pooh Bear Beanie Babies. And I have the other one, and they sent them to our kids too.
Yeah, they sent signed scripts to our kids.
I sent them a thank you card with like all our stickers. I hope they got it, but it was so sweet of them to take the time to do that.
Literally have the very first page of X-Men the animated series hanging up on my wall at work that's signed. It was an amazing interview.
And it says,
I love them
Wolverine.
as well.
That was one of his notes, a gruffer Wolverine.
Yeah, it's so rad. I have Derek Robertson on here, who is the artist and co-creator of The Boys. Uh, he was amazing. Getting to talk to him again was one of those big bucket list things where he was like, yeah, I'll come on the show. And he follows us and we chat once in a while. And so just this guy who created a massive comic book, and TV show and
And he's
universe,
part of the show too.
he
Yeah.
was, yeah, it was one of the most down to earth human beings that we've gotten to meet. And he's a talented artist. And so really getting to talk to him, I know Lauren is a bigger fan of The Boys than I am, for example, but absolutely was a top tier moment for me. But like, we've gotten some a lot really good people, and I know there's one person that really made your life that we haven't mentioned yet.
So Derek Robertson actually was probably one of the first interviews I was actually nervous about, but then he was, very funny and
Yeah,
entertaining, and I also was so scared I was going to ask a question that he was going to think I was wanting info about The Boys the show, which anybody who listens to our podcast knows I want no spoilers, but I
right. He's
didn't
like,
want to
guys, I
like
can't speak spoilers. Really, we
I
know.
but I didn't want it to even a question worded a certain way to come across. So I was actually nervous about that. So my number one, this is silly though, is the Patton Oswalt one. So he came on to talk Minor Threats, which is a
Say
comic
it with your
I
whole chest. We interviewed
love.
Patton Oswalt, okay, and Jordan Blum from Minor Threats. Okay, you know
Yes.
him as Remy and
I
all a
mean,
bunch
it's
of
Scott
things. But
Hepburn, but I'm loving the comic run. So I've been getting to do the reviews. And Ken at ODPH Pod for Nerd Initiative was the one that was like, hey, why don't you take, because at first I was like, well, I really only read Wolverine and da-da-da. And he was like, hey, why don't you take
yeah,
this? And he was recommending stuff. And I feel like he quickly learned what I would kind of like. So I was
Ken's
doing the
amazing for that. Yeah,
Alternates, which is a spinoff for Minor Threats. And so I've gotten to review all the Minor Threats comics for Nerd Initiative. So we got to do the interview. And getting to talk with Patton was a surreal moment because you've seen him in so many things. And
you
yes,
gave him
he's
a good
Remy.
idea.
I have a thing in my kitchen that says anyone can cook. And yeah, at one point
And you
I said,
cooked on that
I asked
episode.
a question and oh, you kids with your cooking. Brielle kept saying that earlier. I'm literally cooking a dress to impress. I'm like, you're not literally cooking, you're
Cooking
metaphorically
right
cooking.
now.
But no, he said my name. And I'm like, oh my God, in my
James
head, I'm like, Remy
Dean.
just said my name.
I
Well,
know.
probably because it's written right there under my
Yeah,
face.
okay, but
But
still, he was like, "Lauren, you just gave me a really good idea," and I was like, "What?"
like,
And
Remy just said my name.
shout out to Gibson, who says it may be silly, but the Agatha pre-finale James Earl Jones tributes were his favorite episodes because they were the
That was
first
good.
ones he'd ever
Yeah.
watched from us. Listen, that's not silly. That's awesome, man. I love hearing how people can find or have found us because I think we've done a lot. We've really tried to make our group, our podcast, whether it's Discord or Facebook or social media in general, a place where people can feel comfortable in coming and hanging out and getting to know everybody. And so however you found us, it's not silly at all. It's awesome. And it still blows my mind that people listen to what we have to say. It's one of those things that
I can't listen back. It's like, oh, for me to
I have
listen
to
better.
because I edit, but at the same
Right.
time, I'm like, I'm the only person that's ever going to listen to this. So why do I even put time into this or that? And just to see people being like, hey, yeah, I caught that. And, Gibson being like, I found you this way. And Kat just finally started Minor
I love
Threats.
that.
And
That's
it's
awesome.
amazing. It's awesome. And some of these
I got
guys
to read the alternates.
we've known for a long time. And yeah, Patton Oswalt was MODOK and it didn't get a second season, which is lame. But let's go into, speaking of favorite episodes, it's a good transition. I'm going to tell you right now, because we already mentioned it, Scooby Natural is one of my favorites. And I never thought it would be there because Supernatural wasn't a show I obviously watched until the last couple of years.
Yes, we did Scooby Natural before Matt started watching Supernatural.
I had just moved to Virginia, so I was in a hotel still. I was recording out of our little hotel, watched Scooby Natural. We had just completed our cross-country trip, and I love Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo is very near and dear to my heart. I was like, all right, I'll watch it. Why not? And I just love that episode because it's two things, and it was a very transitional phase in life, and it was kind of a start of a new beginning, being here in Virginia and closer to family and friends, and opened a lot of doors, but also because it was awesome. It was a freaking good episode. We did a good job on the episode, but the Scooby Natural is like one of my favorite Supernatural episodes. Yes.
I remember having to like rewatch it to make sure there was no. You had started watching Supernatural. You just weren't there yet.
I wasn't there yet. No. I think I was a couple seasons behind.
So it was, I had to watch it to make sure nothing was going to get spoiled for you. But it was very standalone, so you were fine.
I was behind. Yeah.
That's
And
what it was.
it was just
Because we
good,
wanted to do
man.
it on the anniversary of Scooby-Doo and Supernatural, which both of their anniversaries is September 13th.
Yes, and so we'll be doing a 20th anniversary Supernatural this year, because obviously it's the 20th anniversary. Kat's favorite episode of Supernatural is season 8, episode 16. It's so much willpower for her to watch it. I don't know which one that is off the
Is
top of my
that
head.
the one with the Greek gods? The guy that died keeps dying? She had mentioned it, I think, in the Discord, if that's
Oh
the one that
yeah.
I'm thinking of.
Okay.
I'm not
Well,
that crazy that I know which episodes are just
I
by the season
honestly I
of the
assumed you did, to
episode.
be honest. So, what is one of your episodes that you would recommend people listen to?
So one of my favorite episodes that we did a while ago that I thought was we went because I had so many friends asking before Spider-Man No Way Home came out. I had a
Yeah.
lot of people asking me, "What do I need to watch beforehand?"
Oh my gosh, how funny is that? Everybody would make fun. All your friend group would make fun of you for doing this.
Well, and those were the people though that are like weren't into it, but they wanted to see the new Spider-Man. And so they wanted to
Oh,
know, like, do I need to watch everything? And this was, I mean, that movie came out a while ago now. But
yeah.
we went through and rewatched all the Spider-Man movies, and I thought we did a great recap. And I think that I'd have to go back and listen, but I think that our predictions weren't off. My favorite Supernatural episode is Bugs.
Be
I
so
don't
for real.
hate Bugs.
Bugs was overhated. Okay,
So
but
yeah.
I'd have to go back and listen to because I don't remember what our predictions were. I just know
I mean,
that.
we knew they were all
What was
coming.
the movie we were way off? There was a movie. What?
The rest of them,
There
I don't
was
know.
an Avengers movie or Marvel movie that we were talking, and our predictions were so off. I don't know if it was the
Maybe
WandaVision
Eternals.
play. It
Maybe
was one of those. It
WandaVision.
was so off. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. I'm glad you bring this up, Kat, because she says her favorite episode is last year's Christmas special. Well, guess what? That is also
Both
on my
did
list.
that.
We had a really good idea. We always like to inject fun and to whatever it is we do. So we do October is the entire month of, spooky stuff. I love
Spooky.
spooky stuff. Lauren's gotten
We're
more into
both in
horror
holiday
because of it.
school. It's
And we're
true.
both big holidays. The best birthday in history is in October, right there in the middle. No big deal. But aside from that, somebody else's birthday is August 4th. If you guys make sure you say happy birthday to her. But yeah, the Christmas special was fun, man, because we got people like Pat did some stuff and Tim came in and I did some Hallmark and Tom and Ken jumped in and we did a 12 Days of Christmas, which was hilarious. And Lauren was spinning lightsabers and we got taught. It was just a fun because
It
it
was
was
a
collaborative.
variety show. It was a
Yeah,
holiday
it was, it
variety
was,
show. Yeah, it was a lot of
I don't know
fun.
how we're going to top it this year, but
I
it
was
was a lot of fun.
I was thinking that too. I'm like, I wore all my Christmas hats. I have no more Christmas hats. I'm gonna have to buy more. It was Iron Man 2
Oh,
mask.
they
That
have
was good. So,
exclusive merch on that maritime boat. And I'm like, yes, they do. Iron Man 2 is good. Okay. First and foremost, shut up. You read a freaking book. Okay.
bad. It was just not the best.
And Iron Man 2 is the worst MCU film that was ever made. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Lauren absolutely has nothing more to say. Mute her mic as we go to. Yeah, no,
It said the host has unmuted my mic. Thank you.
I really did enjoy that episode. Lauren, what's another episode that you really enjoyed?
So this one I think got mentioned in the Discord. I know some people were saying they like our cryptids and stuff, but our Halloween origin one I really liked because it was a lot of fun to research.
Oh, the lore, yeah. We go deep into
Yeah.
Lauren. When I say we, Lauren goes deep into the research. I'm the face of this. Okay.
I get, that's the one good thing of having a law degree and having a podcast is like I'm good at research. That's it. That's what I took away
I always
from
do way too many things, so I'm like Lauren handles the research. I do everything else, which really works for us. Okay, we're a team for a reason.
I'm pre-production, he's post-production.
Yes,
but it was a lot of fun learning all of that and then talking about it and doing the whole Saw Win thing and the traditions. I love that stuff. What is
Read
it?
it and
Gibson
weep,
just said it
baby.
was my childhood. I will not stand
Read
for
it
slander.
and
The
weep,
suitcase scene
baby.
is one of the most badass scenes of the MCU period. That is actually a really cool scene. That when he does there's some great scenes in Iron Man 2. It's just, there's like over 20 movies. What are we, almost at 30 movies now? Like they can't all be
I don't
number
know.
one.
That's right. They all can't be Iron Man 1. Or not
What do you
Iron
got
Man 1.
next?
Ant-Man 1. Anyways, I liked our Mallrats episode. I thought that was a fun one because we just got to talk about Mallrats and kind of dive into that a bit. And especially
And we
because
just talked to Brian again.
yeah, exactly. And so that was a good one. And then I really liked our Superman 1978 episode. Something about that and
Yeah.
the way we talked and dove in, and it was the first time that we really had covered Superman in some regard on this show. We were kind of saving it for that moment. That was a really it kicked off our super summer, and so I
Mhm.
really enjoyed the episode and the flow and everything of that one, and going and rewatching Christopher Reeve, excuse me, and all of that kind of stuff. So, what do you have next?
I do think all our Superman episodes came out well.
I
Again, I
do
don't go
too.
back and listen, but I felt like they went well.
Sometimes you
Um,
can tell when your energy's there. It's just like concerts, right? Not the band isn't gonna have it every single night, and we don't have it every single episode. I'll be honest.
right.
I don't have it every single episode, but some you can
And
definitely be like,
yeah.
that shit rocked.
I mean, this may be me, obviously I'm biased, but I feel like our episodes are better when we banter back and forth a little bit and we talk more about it, and then it's not just reading like Ron Burgundy,
You know
reading
me,
from a
I'll read whatever's on the
teleprompter.
prompter.
But that's sometimes funny when that
Lauren likes to
happens
read.
because I will say all the research that I do when I'm typing in the document, I don't always go
You
back
do
and
it on
proofread
purpose. I
it.
guarantee it this time. I think you start to do it on purpose.
I should start throwing in random
I'm convinced
things.
Lauren puts random words in there and I just read it and then I'm like, wait a second, this isn't right.
The next episode, I'm gonna write Iron Man 3 is the best movie ever.
And I'm just reading it and then I'm like, wait a second.
All right, this is gonna be an experiment. I'm gonna start. But also sometimes it's how much prep time I have and how passionate I
All
am
right,
about the
Batman, calm
subject
down.
too.
Yeah.
Ahsoka, I really liked our Ahsoka episode, and that was I
Hmm.
spent so much time going back and rewatching some Clone Wars, some Rebels, some of the Disney Plus show. I had just finished reading the Ahsoka book, and I loved how much that book tied into her lore and like how she got her lightsabers and all this stuff about it. I
That
felt like
makes me
it.
so pumped because you were not a Star Wars fan to start this show.
No, I didn't even know who Ahsoka was, but I really enjoyed that episode because I love her character. And sometimes when I'm doing this stuff, I think about Tim. Here's your second Stanley cameo because
Think
Tim
about
won't
Tim.
watch
Wow,
the
she thinks of another
cartoons.
man. Can you believe it, guys?
So Tim always loved Star Wars. When we were friends, God, we've been friends
He was
20 years
Darth
now, which
Maul.
is crazy to think that. Yeah, he got his face painted as Darth Maul, and then he painted for Kaylee, my oldest, to get her face painted at Downtown Disney. I didn't know who he was. I had no idea what his face was.
Are you the guy from what was that horror movie that
I knew it was
went into
Star
Annabelle?
Wars.
Yeah.
But that's all I knew. And so now he's like, now you know more Star Wars than I do. And he doesn't watch the cartoons. So when we're doing some of these episodes and talking about the cartoons or the books, I feel like I'm trying to fill in the holes for the people who don't want to read the books or don't have time or don't want to read the cartoons or again, just don't have time. There's a lot of crap out there, man.
There really is. And that's one of our things is we love to go into deep dives. We know that you don't have the time to read, watch everything out there. And so sometimes it's nice to get a recap, especially if it's been a couple of years between seasons or something. So we'll
Oh
go
yeah.
in and we will absolutely go in and recap it for you guys. And speaking of, this one I also loved was our Batman Returns because we really went into that movie and talked about that
And it
movie
was
and Dan it
Christmas.
was
Yeah.
Christmas and Danny DeVito's weirdness and we really dove into that movie. I thought that movie or that episode was pretty fun and kind of rocked hard. Although for some reason, I will say I kind of sometimes look at what episodes are doing really well. And for like the last 3-4 months, it has been our Daredevil Born Again episode 1 and 2 recap that has been the
Huh.
most listened to episode. I don't know why.
And the
Apparently, everybody
recaps
thinks
are
that's the best.
no prep. That's all. I mean, when we review something, I was like, "Ooh, a week I don't have to do
That's
anything other than
emotions. Yeah.
check new." Yeah, that's just maybe I'll make notes so I don't forget to mention something. But those are the easiest episodes.
Pretty much. Do you have any more before we go into our con moments? And then at the end, we'll go through the Discord responses.
So I did say the Christmas special, which we already talked about. But summing up all the Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, before Deadpool and Wolverine came out, we did a whole episode where we summed up everywhere where that Wolverine has been, and there's a lot of time
And we saw
travel. And
that
you have
movie together in
Apocalypse.
London.
We did London,
That was one
baby.
of my favorite moments it wasn't like a podcast, I guess, but it was probably one of my
Well,
favorite. It was something special about that whole
yes.
trip, I guess.
Well, I started crying right before we went into the theater. We had gone to a few breweries that day, and then it was just the four of us. We left the kids at the hotel with my oldest, who is
In
21.
London. Yeah.
And we're Matt's wife and myself and Matt and my husband are sitting there and we're having a beer. And I look
We're
down
on
at like the
couches in a movie
thing
theater. It's crazy.
and it's Deadpool and Wolverine. And I just started crying and laughing. And they're all like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "I just can't believe this movie is finally
I
happening."
know. It was the craziest, like most surreal. I would say what 10, 14 days. We meet up in Barcelona, and my son gets lost in Lisbon, and all this other nonsense. It was just like a crazy
We
week
went to
of
that
just,
comic book store and we
we
found
traveled
minor threats in
countries
Spanish.
together. We went
I
to
learned
comic shops in Spain together, and
I learned Wolverine is Labenzo in
yeah,
Spanish.
it culminated in us getting to watch Deadpool and Wolverine, like the most anticipated movie of not only that summer, but of 20 plus years of Fox and
Of
Marvel
my
movies.
life.
It was absolutely
It was
insane.
100% the most anticipated
Yeah.
movie of my life.
Oh man.
But going back and rewatching all those movies, having it fresh in my head, and then laying out everywhere the Wolverine that I fell in love with that started my journey was a lot of fun to do that. And I thought it was, I thought it was fun.
I do
Oh
too.
my gosh, best intro fight scenes.
I know.
And
I
just
do. Baby, bye, bye, bye.
and just a Hugh Jackman scene when the
Probably
car
sang
where
that
like,
better than Justin Timberlake did at his last appearance last weekend at his concert. Just saying.
oh, I missed that.
Oh, the man was not even singing. He was trying to make the crowd sing the whole time. It wasn't. It was go watch a YouTube video. But the
That's
Honda
because the
Odyssey.
Honda Odyssey hard. We're trying
Okay,
not to use the F
and it's
word.
DT bleeps his out. He puts a lot of time into it. Con
Ooh.
moments, comic conventions. What do you got on your list there? Man, you got a lot. I put okay.
I
I
know.
love it. That's
I got out of control.
no, go ahead. What you got?
So one of my favorite moments was actually the first time we hosted the Supernatural panel together. It was the first panel we hosted together. I love that people showed up. It was because I had hosted Disney Trivia the year before, and that
We
was a
had more
shit
people
show
in that panel than we did for the Marvel comic panel with people who wrote actual real comic books.
because
Crazy.
they were up against a Back to the Future
But that night
reunion.
ended up
That
being
wasn't
fun.
fair. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We got barbecue. We went brewery hopping.
Yeah.
But no, it was just kind of cool because it was like, this is what the podcast has come to, that we're hosting panels together. Because
We
the
are now
Disney one, I
hosting
was by
panels.
myself and it was crazy. And you were in the middle of your watch.
Yeah,
And
that's
so
true.
it was cool to see other fans. And then we had this past year, we had somebody who was at that one because we asked, was anybody
They
there to
came
last?
back for
Yeah.
more.
And I remembered she had cosplayed, and I think she had cosplayed again.
Yeah, dude, we're at the point where we get to host panels at MegaCon Orlando.
Mega conventions.
Mega convention, I don't know. But like
That's what it is.
we
It's a
do.
mega
We've
convention.
hosted a bunch of panels this year, and it's really rad. And people show up and want to hear what we have to say at these panels. And GalaxyCon Richmond got really out of control both nights, but then somebody like 3D printed the second night. They were in our panel the first night at GalaxyCon Richmond, and then the second night brought me a Nightwing Batarang 3D printed because I mentioned that was awesome. Like I was complimenting, it was the coolest thing ever that somebody brought us something at our panel. It was awesome and
Brought you.
absolutely.
Megan even made the
You're right.
comment of like, hey,
We had something
brought
special. I don't
you.
tell you guys, but the very first time we actually really hit up a convention together was in Salt Lake City with Brian O'Halloran and Jeff Anderson.
It's
So
like,
Jeff,
if you've never listened to us before, you're probably sick of hearing this.
yeah, well, Jeff Anderson doesn't do interviews at all.
And he was
And
so sweet.
we were walking around. Brian O'Halloran was awesome. He said, yeah, come back Sunday. We'll do an interview. He made Jeff Anderson get into this of Dante and Randall. He made Randall get into the interview, and then they were drinking beers with us. And so Lauren happened to have flip flops that had a bottle opener on the bottom of the shoe. And so they opened their Heineken with a freaking flip flop that Lauren had.
What was funny is like, so the con, because we asked, do you want us to get you beers and bring them? Because the con was selling beer. So Matt and I get our beers. We're like, no, the con provides. So they had like Heinekens with
in Salt Lake City,
open.
Nonetheless. Which
and who knows? Maybe it was theirs. I'm not sure, but I thought that they said it was from the con.
Yeah.
But they're like, oh, we don't have a bottle opener, and I didn't even think anything of it. I'm thinking like, oh, they're gonna hit the table or do something. And Matt goes, she's got a bottle opener on the bottom of her shoe, and Jeff looks at me. He goes, do you really? I'm like, yeah, I do. I'm like, my sweaty feet have been in it all day, but you're more than welcome to use it. And he goes, why do you have a bottle opener on the bottom of your shoe? And I'm like, for moments like this.
Exactly. And you never know.
I stood there leaning on one foot.
And there was sand from the beach that got on the table even. It was hilarious.
So yeah, because the last time I had used it was actually when we were in Jamaica and I was opening a Guinness on the beach.
It was our first time, like really, that was like our first time doing anything in person together, like as far as a podcast. So we did an interview.
Away so high.
We did. We were riding that train was high. We were
shout out to Carrie. She videoed the whole thing. She was like our hype man that weekend.
Carrie, like she's been like at MegaCon this past year. She was the videographer, and I even used her phone for interviews. And that leads me like Ben Percy was a really fun interview to do this year at
I
MegaCon
was nervous for
because
that
he was
one.
the only person that really scared me because he's muscular and his voice is so deep
You're like a
and he's
foot
very
taller than him.
I know, but like he just like didn't smile the whole time. He has this very serious look on his face and his voice is so deep. And I
He's
was
talking
just
about Predator and
they were
Wolverine.
talking about Wolverine, and I'm just sitting here like, is he gonna throat punch me at any point? He was a scary man, but he's awesome in his comic books. I'm
So
honestly, if it's a
good.
Marvel book that I'm reviewing for Nerd Initiative, you can probably almost guarantee, maybe 9 times out of 10, that it's probably a Ben Percy because that's
He's doing all the
how
Predator.
right.
And
And
then
I
his
love those
Deadpool and
mashups.
Wolverine run right now is really good.
Although I will say
One,
Matt Guggenheim's doing the Spider-Man one, but nonetheless,
oh, that one's really good too. But I met Ben Percy a few years ago. Like I was not press at
I do
MegaCon. I
remember
was
that.
just
Yeah,
like whatever. And I waited in line and got him to sign. I had him sign my book and Adam Kubert. And it was the Deadpool and Wolverine. And we had a whole conversation right after they had announced they were going to do Deadpool and Wolverine. I'm like, I hope that Deadpool and Wolverine in the movie is how you write it. Like I
yeah.
love how you do it. And I mean, yeah, the movie was obviously fantastic for me. And then now he's writing Deadpool and Wolverine or Deadpool/Wolverine, and that's been a lot of fun. So
He
yeah.
has been doing that, and he's got the Predator Kills the Marvel Universe coming out in August, which is pretty exciting.
And he
You know,
poses, he'll take a picture with you and he'll put the little Sharpies in his
oh yeah,
claws. Yeah.
man, he knows him. What else we got?
Horrible. Emo night with Jackson and Tabby and Josh and
Okay, that was so much fun. We went to emo. Okay, so
my
Lauren,
lightsaber died when I got there. It was like when they try to go to the apocalypse world in Supernatural and Gabriel's
yeah.
little thing goes. That
So
was my lightsaber.
the fact that you were at a Star Wars themed party dressed in with a lightsaber,
I had my
and
Ahsoka
we're with
dress.
Jackson Lansing, and we are drinking, and we are all of a sudden singing emo songs and
What's my
going
age
crazy.
again?
Yeah, that was probably one of like probably my favorite single convention experience.
Well, then
It
Josh
was
hit it off with Colin before
he
we
did,
left.
yeah, those two, yeah.
My husband, who's never read a comic book, was chit chatting with Colin, and they hit it off great.
Tell us your next one because I'm gonna grab just one small beer since I know we have some questions too.
So one of mine I have here is also brewery hopping with Micah. So Micah's been around since our Hops News days because obviously this is a spinoff of Hops News, and it was so fun to finally to get to meet him in person, have a beer with him in person, and him kind of show us the layout of like his area. And he was such a hype man. He's always a hype man for us. He's fantastic. So that was so much fun. And we got to meet his brother. And like, we had a lot of beers with him. And then we went and interviewed Brian O'Halloran again. And that's when I told everybody to beat up Easter bunnies and just Easter bunny because there's only one. And Brian O'Halloran was like, no, don't beat up Easter bunnies. But it was a lot of fun to talk to him. I'm still trying to convince my husband we need to go on that cruise. So they're actually doing a Kevin Smith cruise to Cancun in February. And we talked to Brian about that. It leaves out of
Yes,
Tampa.
it does, and unfortunately, that won't happen. I just picked up a
But
Trail
we
Citra
also
Pilsen.
got to hang
I
out with
like Pilsen.
Megan that weekend, so that was really cool too because we
You
had done some
did.
podcasting with Megan. So it's just when you get to know people online and you become like close with them and you've never met them in person, it's so much fun when you finally do.
I fully agree. Such
One
as
day I'll
we
meet
also got
Matt and DT and
one day,
Stacy
yeah, one day we'll get to
and
meet. I
Gibson
met
and
Stacy
Riley.
last year, which was awesome. I would love to
I
meet,
haven't.
obviously Gibson. I've met Riley at Thanksgiving. He came to Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah, it was
I don't
Thanksgiving
think
dinner, or was it the
have
day
I met
after?
anybody you haven't now other than my friends that were
DT
my
and
friends
Pat are the
before?
two that I haven't met yet in person. I will soon enough. I will say that Stephanie Phillips and Brian Azzarello, getting to hang with them at
Oh, at
MegaCon
Half
afterwards,
Barrel.
having brews, that was awesome too. And yeah, I got a little Pilsner from Treehouse, even though I'm not a Pilsner fan. So
Yeah, she was super sweet. We
uh,
were talking more beer with them than comics because I had friends meet up with us who don't know
yeah.
comics that just know beer and they were talking to them about beer too. So that was cool.
Do you want to touch on least favorite before we ask each other a few questions?
I do have on here hanging out with Tom in New York. Tom is a lot of fun in New York.
There you go,
We're
Tom.
hanging out with people like one guy we were hanging out with like all night, super freaking sweet. And we go to MegaCon and he's hosting the Legends of Tomorrow panel. And I got
Oh,
to
that's
hang
right.
out with the Power Ranger. It was really cool.
I
Least
oh yeah.
favorite. I wanted to
I,
say Lord of the Rings,
oh my
but
god,
I love Chris from Geek Peak.
I do too.
So,
I
but
only have like I don't know. Anything before basically episode 50 when we first started out, because it just was rough. I feel like our first Nightmare Before Christmas episode was kind of meh,
Yeah,
but we
I thought
rectified that.
makes me wanna go back and listen to that one because you said that, but,
The
like, I
only
listened to a few minutes of our origin episode, and it's awkward.
It is, but the only real episode that I hate was our Harry Potter one was a mess.
But only our intro was a mess, right?
No, it was the actual Harry Potter discussion. We were wasted.
No, because the actual Harry Potter was with Jessica and Kaylee, so I
Oh,
was
you're
definitely
right.
not wasted with Kaylee.
Well, half that
Our
episode
opening segments were
basically
recorded after the Hops News Christmas party.
cat. Oh my gosh.
I
Wow.
tried Cat, I watched the first one, and I did not like it.
I'm sorry to say this. It's very heartbreaking, but we did have DT from
DT
Space
wants to
Castle
be on the
on
least oh,
to
because
talk.
of the one we did?
We talked Scott Pilgrim, and just DT ruined that entire episode for me. I'm sorry.
What did he do?
He showed up.
Oh, I was like, I don't remember that being bad.
No.
I thought you were talking about when we went off on the tangent about The Last Jedi or whatever,
No, oh
and then
no,
I
that
got kicked off.
picking that was pick an
I
episode.
think that was a
Jesus
live episode. I don't think
Christ.
that was the Scott Pilgrim. I
I
could be
actually had
wrong,
sent
though.
DT the link to our live right now. That was funny enough because he was making a joke about becoming the co-host, so I sent him the link to this.
He's just gonna show up.
He was just, I was so,
Okay. So I put Batman Forever on here, but that's just because I wasn't on it. It's the
so we got to
only
redo it.
episode that I wasn't on because you did it with your friend Josh. But
So we have that
Stacy,
was a commentary though, so
I
that
think
wasn't actually an episode.
but I think that was the first episode that Stacy actually listened to.
Oh, you're right. I definitely
Funny
think
enough.
you're right. That's right. So that means we have to do okay, a real drunk Space Castle with Batman Begins, which is its 20th anniversary this year. I'm in.
Oh,
You tell
that's
me
right. It
when.
is
I'm
real
in.
drunk.
But I'll yeah. You tell me
Batman
when. I'm in.
Begins. And I put
Yeah.
Jingle All the Way because I
Why?
had to watch Jingle All the Way. Oh, actually, you know what my least favorite episode we ever did was a supernatural one because we decided to wing it.
Oh God, that was a mess. I don't even remember which one,
I
but I
thought that
do.
I would just remember everything, and it was taking me so long to. So now I literally watch the episodes and like fast forward and skip stuff to do our episode. So I spend a good 20 minutes on each episode, like each episode for that whole recap.
And I try to rewatch. Yeah, we've stepped our game up since then.
Yeah, that was terrible. I hope and I think it came out around when we were at a con, and I was like, oh God, I hope nobody like listened to this and think this is how we always are.
No, God, yeah, that was. And then we did
that was my
MegaCon
only
and had a really
legitimate
big
problem.
following for Supernatural, and then we didn't do a Supernatural episode for a while. And but fun fact, if you are into Supernatural, we had Ryan Curtis, who does visual effects for a few seasons, has been on the show.
He was
times, so
awesome. He was an awesome
that was
guest.
fun.
Yeah.
So do you want to start you want me to start? You start. We got some questions. You got some questions about Supernatural.
Should we do the Discord comments first?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Hit the Discord comments real quick. You're right. My bad.
All right. So if anybody wants to be in the Discord, you can email us, DM us, and we can send you the link. The link has to be fresh, which is why we can't just have it on our Linktree.
I spent money on our Discord, so I think it's good to go permanently now, but I could be mistaken. Anyways.
I don't know how that works. So Riley said one of his favorites was actually our Black Adam origin episode, comic origin episode.
We changed the hierarchy of podcasting that day.
But that was I didn't hate that movie. I liked that movie.
What episodes do people in the Discord want to hear? Fast and Furious. Whoa, did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
Whoa, people want Fast and Furious. I think we got to do it. That's what we're doing in the next 5.
Riley also said Lego because he requested it. So if you are in our Patreon, you can request an episode. Pat said bringing back the lives. So that's why we're live, because Pat said that. So thank you, Pat. That's
true. Lauren was like, hey,
you.
What if we do live and then we just drop this on Monday? And I was like, okay. I say,
we don't have time to record again this week. It's a busy week.
It is for you, not me. But
well, yeah, I got a kid graduating this week, and I have a birthday.
Please. Well, it's too many excuses. You have a birthday? Come on, you've had 41 birthdays.
What's one more? I hope I get more than one more. I'm turning 21 times 2. He also said he enjoyed when Micah showed up dressed as Thor, which I had forgotten about that.
I forgot that.
And the cryptid episodes, which those again were actually a request from the Patreons in the Discord to do the cryptid episodes.
I love cryptid episodes. You know me, I'm all about it. I spent probably about 3 hours on Sunday on Appalachian TikTok, and so I was into all sorts of horror stories about Appalachian mountains. So I will gladly, I'm game. If we want to talk some Appalachian mountain cryptids this year, you know I'm in because I am well versed.
Maybe we got next week's topic.
I listened to nurses doing house calls in the Appalachian Mountains, and this one nurse went in there and she saw a guy in overalls, and then she went to the lady's house and he was like, "There ain't nobody else here," and she's like, "You need to leave now," and she packed her a sandwich, and the lady walked out and was leaving, and things were pitch black, and then as soon as she got out of this little area, it was sunny again. It was crazy. I don't know, lots of stories, really good stuff.
Huh. Interesting.
Yes.
Well, of course, I like always tying it to supernatural episodes. So DT said our Die Hard movie night. I mean, can't go wrong with Die
Christmas
Hard.
movies, yeah, that's right.
And making Matt watch Midsummer. Okay, DT traumatized all of us.
I had to watch it.
I would have never in a million years watched that movie if it weren't for him. And I watched it with Brielle, and Brielle's like, "What are we watching?" It's terrible.
Oh, Stacy, you are my fave because you said The Exorcist, because I don't remember exactly what I said, but it probably had to do with the crucifix and female body parts.
I vaguely remember we went off on a dirty tangent, and
I made a comment about Jensen Ackles in a very sexual manner once. I think I don't know.
Well,
I say
just
some
once.
To be fair, I say some pretty off the wall stuff. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. That's just who I am.
Meanwhile, I keep it calm and collected because somebody has to be the grown up here.
Obviously.
She also said she enjoyed our supernatural trivia, which we need to redo.
Yeah,
and she
because I
enjoyed the
beat you.
Floor.
Who won that last supernatural trivia? I did, and I haven't even watched the show yet. That's crazy. Wow.
What? You hosted it.
Oh yeah, it was between you. Damn.
And no,
I beat you at trivia before though. What trivia was it?
Was it on the Mickey boat? Maybe that's what you're thinking.
Of course, I'm the Marvel super fan.
Yeah, that's
see all those. Yeah, come on, no big deal.
I forgot Justin Hammer's name, and it will haunt me for the rest of my life.
I had to go against some kid from South America. It was come on. I had to beat this kid in front of his parents. That's what you made me do. All right, but I wasn't proud of it.
The worst part about losing trivia is then watching the person that you lost to not know as much as you do. Not talking about you, but in another Mickey boat I had in Marvel trivia, and then I'm watching these people, and they didn't even know who Beta Ray Bill was. Like, 'cause, at the end you do all the pictures.
Yeah.
And they knew like nobody. I'm like,
that's embarrassing for them and you.
So that's what I got.
All right. No, as always too, one thing we like to do on this podcast is if you find something we mess up on, please shoot us a DM or an email or something, call us out, because we love to have that. But also if you have an episode idea, we do Patreon movie nights. Like we're going to be doing Super Troopers. Is it going to be our next one? I know things have been hard.
Now, what'd you say?
Huh?
Now, what'd you say? I could only do it once with a straight face.
Oh, I was like, wait, what? No, yeah. Do I look like a cat? Huh? littering and let's go into some questions. I'm going to ask you this question first and foremost, because it's not, you can write Star Wars questions. However, this one is not Star Wars. You were not a DC Comics fan. What's it like getting into DC Comics? How does it differ than Marvel from you? Like, what do you like about DC Comics now that you've kind of started to read more of them?
So yeah, I was a DC fan. Obviously, I grew up on Batman and I fell in love with the Arrowverse. But yeah, I did not read a DC comic until not long ago at all. I don't know. That's a really hard question to answer. How does it differ? Well, it probably differs a lot for me because when I first started getting into comics, as far as Marvel, I only read Wolverine. And I also
used to, but you still do.
Well, I have like the books from Barnes and Noble of like the first like 30 issues of X-Men and the first like 20 issues of Avengers. Right. So I did read those. I think the difference with DC is when I read the comics, whether they're old or new, it doesn't seem as maybe cheesy. It's like it can be an older comic, but like Lois Lane was so well done and so ahead of her time that it doesn't always feel like, oh, it's Jean Grey that she's just going to fix dinner because the maid's not here tonight. Oh, don't worry, boys. I love taking care of you. So I will say in reading the older comics, I don't get that much misogyny as I do in Marvel. And I'm shocked how much I know. So another big difference is when I started reading Marvel comics, I didn't know that much about Marvel. I only knew the popular stuff. Because I had only seen
that's fair.
the X-Men movies and the Spider-Man movies. However, I have watched so many shows on Arrowverse, Titans, like so many movies that reading the comics, I'm shocked that I know almost all of the characters in some way, shape, or form.
I will say, this ties in. Like Gibson said, he's been familiar with DC, but he's only just recently started picking up DC Comics, which I noticed. Gibson's very much, he's into Sonic, and which I love Sonic first and foremost. I need to shout that out. But there's a more Marvel. I feel like I'm like the only person in our Discord that reads DC Comics, for example, sometimes. Number one, it helps that you have press access to DC because that really helps a lot.
I don't
But I
have
do
press
buy a lot of
access.
these
Only
comics.
Matt
Right.
does.
It's a very
They only
DC
accept
is
a
very
few, yeah.
selective.
And they want you to review a lot.
Oh my God, they get pissy if you don't review ever.
Which
And
I
trust
don't.
me, DC puts out volume, but I don't necessarily think they put out quality all the time. They choose quantity over quality sometimes. You know, whereas Marvel, it's funny because Marvel is the one that I have always been less, I'm the opposite. I always felt Marvel was a little too unserious at times. I just always connected more with the DC characters. And yet my pull quotes have been featured in Marvel comics, not DC. Like
That is
DC
now
is
my
very
goal in
stingy.
life.
It's crazy, to be
That's
very much randomly
awesome.
like,
Yeah. You
whoa,
and
that's my
Megan have
quote.
done like,
Like
I mean, a bunch of them. Like, yeah, that's amazing.
Megan and I
Like,
in Marvel Comics, for whatever reason, DC won't even acknowledge your reviews. They want you to review every comic they put out, but they won't acknowledge any review that you put out. Their social media game and just marketing is very interesting. I guess they just don't need to. Whereas Marvel Comics will actually, acknowledge.
the fact that I
But
can open a Marvel comic I buy at my shop and see Nerd Initiative quoted is
it
so
is.
cool.
It is crazy. I feel like a lot of people have been familiar with DC, but Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow's Cats,
Cat just got me
however,
more excited about it. Oh, and I need to get the Cat. I don't know if you remember this, but you had recommended a Brielle comic with Blade's daughter. I don't remember which one you specifically
oh,
recommended. If you could post that in here or recommend, because I was telling my daughter about it, Brielle, and I want to get her that comic, but I don't remember specifically which one you requested or
speaking of,
recommended.
IDW has used many of Cat's pull quotes from Monster High reviews, in which actually, Cat, I shout you out on the episode that I'm going to end up dropping tomorrow on our YouTube with Ben and Rachel, who did an excellent um, couple comic books. But Ben is talked about Monster High. I shout you out in that you're a wicked big fan and that you've been doing a lot of reviews, and he looks forward to your reviews. But I will ask now, how has Star Wars changed the way you see life? Whether
Wait,
it's, okay, go ahead. What?
no, I was just going to preface. He got me into Star
Good night,
Wars. I got him
Mom.
into Supernatural. So we're going to ask each other questions about said fandom.
Bloodline, Daughter of Blade for
Bloodline,
Brielle. There
Daughter
you
of
go.
Blade. Okay.
All right. So my first, well, we'll alternate questions, I guess. How has Star Wars changed the way that you look at life? Whether it's like being cool to be able to do the Jedi Code, or how you view animation or comic books. Has Star Wars changed any aspect of your life since getting into it?
So I don't think it's changed my aspect as far as the comics. I do read some of the comics, but I don't think that it has definitely changed the way I view animation. And I would say I read a lot of Star Wars books now, which I've never read novels that were part of such a huge universe that included movies and TV shows. So that's a first for me because even when you read Marvel, obviously that's separate from the movies. It doesn't coincide with movies. Like I don't know anything else that does it like that. Um, it's changed how I feel at Hollywood studios, that's for sure. I used
All
to feel
right. So you get
nothing.
the goosies,
I
little
get the
goosebumps.
goosies now. I mean, Obi-Wan Kenobi was the first time I shed a tear for Star Wars, and now
Oh,
it can be but yeah, I would say I did not wanna watch Clone Wars. I felt like you
yeah.
forced me to, and, I did not wanna watch the animation, and I'm so glad that I did because I don't think I would've watched
Season
Rebels. I
7
don't
is
think
some
I
of
would've
the
watched
best.
Bad Batch.
Yeah.
I don't think I would've watched What If? And I
Oh.
watched every MCU thing, and I
So
don't
it's
know that I
it's
would've watched the
changed that you've
cartoons.
gotten, like, you've given chances to cartoons, basically.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I would say
Holy
that.
shit, my cat's been in here the whole time. Fun fact. I had no idea she was here.
She's very, very sneaky.
She was under the bed. Okay, your turn. Hit me.
Okay.
Hey, oh, hold on. I got Thomas Craig, my boy. Real quick. Go check out his work at San Diego Comic-Con this past
Oh
week.
my
His
gosh. His
interviews,
coverage
dude,
was
I'm
awesome.
so jealous. This dude is amazing. He's one of the most wholesome human beings out there. He does a really good podcast. If you don't know, he survived, a plane crash. It's incredible. It's absolutely insane, this man's story, and I can't tell it better than he can. So you gotta go check out his podcast.
And
Definitely
you can
do
see him
that.
on Nerd
He's
Initiative
a
a
part of
lot too.
Nerd.
He did
Yeah, he's
reels
also
with
on
Nerd
Nerd
Initiative.
Initiative. One of the most wholesome human beings that I've had a chance to get to talk to. So, anyways, I apologize. Hit me with your questions.
Okay, so Supernatural. What has been your favorite thing about being part of the Supernatural fandom?
Honestly, I have not experienced any toxicity with Supernatural.
Oh,
I'm sure it's there,
right. It's
uh,
everywhere.
but the way Star Wars or the Snyder Cult or these other, these big fandoms, because Supernatural's massive. It's one of the biggest fandoms out there. I have seen nothing but people be supportive and into it, whether it's on social media. I've never seen anybody get toxic on social media, which is very rare about anything. So I've got to say, it really truly feels like one of the most open arms, welcoming fandoms. They're crazy. I will say that. Like, they are very down to ride for the show, but I have not experienced any toxicity. It's honestly kind of awesome because
Yeah.
Star Wars is just a cesspool. You can't mention DC without Snyder Bros. You can't mention anything else.
For
And the
Marvel,
Supernatural,
how the MCU's ruined. Yeah.
yeah, the MCU, that stuff like that. So Supernatural is one of the fandoms where I don't experience any of that exhausting toxicity, and they are very welcoming of everybody, and it's freaking dope.
That's
Shout out to
awesome.
our boy Dave, man. Beer in front.
Hey.
Thanks so much, man. But dude, Thomas, love you as well, man. For reals, for reals. There is also very much a supernatural gift for just about anything and everything that there is
I
out
do
there.
love that.
And yeah,
And I mean that's the
yeah, I
hashtag
do.
is SPN family because it's it's
It
it's
is,
it's family.
and
Oh yeah, didn't
it's
DC
awesome.
just have Beer in Front on his podcast?
Yeah, they were just at Colorado together too. They were at some beer
Oh.
fest or something together, which is awesome. I mean,
Well, that's even
Dave,
cooler.
beer in front. He's out there, Chicago, Chi-Town. He's one of the first people that I interacted with on Twitter and stuff as well. He is wicked awesome, super sweet guy as well. But was there ever a time that you were watching or reading Star Wars that you actually thought maybe this was not for you?
Outside of I mean, obviously when I first watched the movies, when my mom made me watch A New Hope when I was 13, I definitely felt like this is not for me. I don't think so. I think there's times I feel like, holy crap, I'm really into this, and I don't even touch the tip of the iceberg that some other people are into this. And I experience that anytime I go to a Star Wars trivia. I'm always
Oh yeah.
flabbergasted at how much I know and how little or how much I don't know. Like I don't know more than I
Oh my
know.
god. You and I got roasted alive at the Mickey boat with Star Wars. We thought we knew Star Wars, and they pulled some
I don't know anything.
insane questions. And I love this stuff. And we both looked at each other like, oh no. And
I'm like,
I
I need
lost
to
the trivia.
rewatch
I went
everything. I don't
19 for 20 in Star Wars trivia, and I still lost. So,
Right, and there's like multiple people that have 20 out of 20, and then they got to do
and they still
extra
lose.
questions. When they asked like where Luke and Leia were born, and the person knew like the star system and whatnot, but then we ended up winning that because I googled it before the next Star
Yeah.
Wars trivia I went to, and I already forgot.
Um, that's fair. So yeah, I was always interested because there's always a point where like, I don't know if this is for you. For example, Gibson was reading Star Wars novels and he read the Thrawn book in 2017. He thought he would like Tarkin, but he didn't like Tarkin.
Oh, I fell
That's
in love
fair.
with
Not
Thrawn
everything is
in
going
those
to be for you.
novels. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
What you got
I
next?
so I fell in love with Thrawn in those novels, and then when he came out in the Ahsoka show, I didn't love him in the Ahsoka show, even though he's the voice of
Oh,
the cartoon. But okay, so back to Supernatural. So what is a moment that while watching really stood out for you? Like the first time you were like, "This show is for me."
oh, well, honestly, I think it was after episode 1. Carrie and I threw it on randomly, and I don't even remember why. I
Well,
just randomly
Carrie had watched
she'd
up
watch
to like
some.
season 9 before, because her and I
She
had
didn't
had
really
a whole
remember anything
conversation
though.
about it. Right. So but the first few seasons were a rewatch for her.
Right. I put it on. I don't remember why. I was just, fine. I'll put it on. I just put it on. And next thing you know, we're 5 episodes in And I was after the first couple episodes, it was not your typical. I think I was hooked right away. After the first episode, I turned to Carrie. I was like, "Wow, this is actually pretty good," because it was not dark, but it was not even serious.
I
It
mean,
had a lot of stuff.
first
I mean,
season
it
is
was
dark.
it's not your stereotypical CW type show. There is
No.
drama, sure, but it was
First
good.
season was WB. That's how old the show is.
It it actually hit pretty good, hard right off the bat. And after the first, we watched the first few episodes, I was like, all right, I guess we're doing this now. And so it was right away. It wasn't some shows take a season to get into, but this show has had me after I started to actually give it my attention and time right away. Gibson says, which Thrawn trilogy do we prefer? EU, canon, or I like the EU. Although I don't fully even know what's canon anymore in Star Wars with
Right.
books and things like that. I'll be honest with you, because they've changed a lot. But I did, I guess. Well, the Timothy Zahn novels are canon technically. Aren't
Timothy
they are
Zahn
my
did
favorite.
2 different Thrawn trilogies. I've only read the
Okay, his
2017 one.
I like his EU, so that would be his EU prior to everything getting wiped. Timothy Zahn Thrawn novels, I like those.
So I've only, I guess,
And
read
you
the canon ones. They yeah, that
right,
y but I mean, I loved them, so I can't really compare to the others.
yes, from the
But
'90s.
the second one taking place at Disney, definitely made me love it even more because I was like, "What? He's on Batuu?" I
Yeah.
was very excited. And then they did the
Um,
comic book version. So anybody who is interested in those books but just doesn't have time, they did comic book version those books. And
they
Timothy
did.
Zahn was part of it.
Yes. And actually, speaking of, would you ever host a Star Wars panel at a Comic Con, and what would you do it on?
I would, but I would preface it with I'm not an expert, so I don't get yelled at.
Oh, you'll get your ass beat. I feel like we'd walk out of that panel, and I don't know that I would. That's why I asked this, is I don't know that I'm brave enough, because I feel like it would turn into a bunch of people yelling at us, and
I
we would get
wonder
our butts whooped.
but I wonder if they would be nicer or meaner to me if it was just me versus you.
Stupid woman. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Maybe I would do it on like Ahsoka, a character that I feel I know very well.
There you go. I do feel like there's a way we could do a Star Wars panel. It's one of those. I like our comic book focused, and then I also like our supernatural panels. We have a good format. So I don't know if I would.
Supernatural panels are definitely key, but I'll never host another Disney trivia. That was a
Oh
shit
God,
show.
especially in Orlando. Yeah, we're never hosting a Disney panel again in Orlando. I'm sorry.
So my next question, I feel like you already answered this though. At what season did you realize you actually liked the show and you weren't just
No,
watching it for the podcast? But it sounds like it was pretty quick.
it was season one. I was pretty. The story is compelling. That's the thing, right? Is if you have a very compelling story right off the bat, you're gonna get in. Some series take a season or two to get into, and that's right. Like Rebels, I didn't really care for Rebels the first season. Seasons, I would say 2.5 is really where it kind of starts to pick up for me, and so I was kind of honestly hooked right off the bat. Granted, it took me a while because there's just always content to watch and read and everything else for the
Yeah.
podcast. But I was very into it right off the bat. And I love doing supernatural panels. I really do. They're probably my favorite panels to do at a comic convention, that I would never not do a supernatural panel because they are so much fun.
I love that. Well, and I forgot what I was going to say.
Mm,
I opened
okay.
another beer. That's what
Um,
I was going to say.
Is there anything Star Wars related that you have found to be off limits since you've discovered the fandom that you're just, I will absolutely not watch, read, get into?
Visions. I just can't do anime. I don't like it.
I had a feeling that was the answer. And not for nothing, I don't mind anime. It's not my go to. And I liked Visions to a degree, but I'm not into Visions. I thought there was beautiful artwork, but other than that, yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. It's not generally overall for me. And honestly, you guys know how I feel. Sequel trilogy. I'm not going to get toxic about it. You can like the sequel trilogy. And my biggest complaint about Star Wars is the fact that they cannot seem to get a freaking movie together and off the ground. That's my biggest complaint about that. So, I have one more question. I think you have one more question. So, do you want me to ask first? Do you want to ask first?
You can ask first.
All right. Did you ever see yourself wielding a lightsaber drunk, singing along to Blink 182 at a Star Wars emo night with a writer from Marvel or DC? I guess I
No, I
technically
did
have two
not.
questions left. What do you want? What is one bucket list item for this podcast that you still have not done that you want to do?
Ooh, for this podcast?
Yeah, what is one thing that we have not done yet
Ooh.
that you really want to do?
I would say hosting a panel at a con that is not a panel we create, but a panel that we are hosting with, like, I don't want to say
Yes,
celebrity because that sounds a little cocky, but
it's
it could
broad,
even
but
be like a hosting a comic book one. And like we did get to do the one with Jackson and
moderating.
Colin, but
We moderate a
obviously,
panel. Yeah.
yeah, moderate a panel. I mean, if we could moderate a supernatural panel, that would be phenomenal. I would love to do that. Another thing I'd love to do is get press at a creation con, which is supernatural.
Ooh,
Yeah.
maybe that's the
And we have
2026
some
goal.
stuff coming up in September with Supernatural on our podcast as well as on Nerd Initiative. So
We
stay
do.
tuned and make sure you're following on all those. I haven't even talked to the people in the Discord yet, but we will be discussing because there is a Supernatural comic book coming out soon. And there was a playful fight over who gets to review the comic in the Discord.
There
So I pitched
was.
an idea, and we are going to be
Um,
having a little bit of a
I feel like we
Supernatural
got to do some
September.
trivia too against one
Oh,
another.
do love some trivia. Yes. For
Also, Cat.
Supernatural?
Yeah,
I'd kick your
obviously,
ass.
probably, but who knows? You play the game for a
It's
reason,
like
okay?
Slumdog Millionaire. You never know what the questions are going to be.
Um, Cat, you should have said, okay, uh, come
That
on.
can
Of course, I
easily
would
be
love to have
arranged.
Cat on. I would
Ooh,
also love
Cat's
to
a
have my
big
man's Thomas on, and I would also love to
Disney
have
person.
Cat. Cat is, yeah, Cat.
We
We're
can
gonna
do a
work that
fun Disney
out.
podcast. Patrick
You should be
always
able
has an
to.
open invite.
We can make that happen. I would love to do it. DT says he's been on the podcast. It's pretty fun. Listen. These are all. Come on, don't take it from us. Take it from the people. I'll give it back to
We paid
you,
ET to say
the
that.
people. Yeah, listen. The $3 in Patreon money we get actually goes to DT to say nice things about us. It's true.
It's not
So
for
last
StreamYard.
questions that you have.
What's your Supernatural bucket list item? Is it
Uh,
making out with
I
Jensen
would
Ackles?
actually. I was ready to go to town with Jared Padalecki
Ruth.
because
Oh.
well, yes. Maybe I would anger bang Mary Winchester. Who knows? But
No.
oh God, I hated you in this show. Actually, I want to interview one of them from the show. That would be really fun. I would
That would be
love
cool.
to be able to either moderate a supernatural panel or interview somebody from the show, whether
I
it's
think an
DJ
interview would be
Qualls,
better. I want to change my answer.
DJ Qualls or Chuck or Gabriel, or I don't care who, anyone, Mark Shepard, because
Oh,
I
Mark
think
would be
Mark
awesome.
Shepard, yeah,
Well,
maybe. Yeah.
I got to talk to Chuck for a little bit at the Supernatural con, and he was so sweet.
The big screen. Okay. Gibson, boot up that podcast. Do it. Okay.
What did he say?
Yeah. You know what? I can't go after Rowena. She's just newly got a baby and stuff. Ruth, I met her at
She's
MegaCon this
the
year. She
best
was super
married
nice, bro.
god.
She was awesome. Okay. But I would love to interview somebody from Supernatural. That would be
I
probably
agree.
my
That would
bucket
be
list
cool.
item.
I mean, we've
So,
interviewed behind the scenes people.
well, yes, but having an actor just to talk and bullshit, like the
Yeah.
stories we've heard about the actors having fun on set, it would be awesome getting to do that. And then I would say, like, my big goal for the podcast would be either to go to a movie premiere or
Oh.
I would love to moderate a panel at a Comic-Con, like not something that we submit and put together, but hey, we love you. We'd love if you come here and sit on this couch with these actors or actresses and just facilitate conversation.
Charlie Cox is going to sit right here. You're just going to ask him some questions.
We did meet
I can do
Vincent
that.
D'Onofrio this year. That would be awesome. But yeah, it would be awesome to be able to get to do that. So that's our goal. I mean, we're 5 years in. I still think that we should absolutely try to put together like some sort of ticketed event or some collaboration event. I think it'd be fun if we got, drank at a brewery and did like a live podcast recording where we just talked about a movie like Batman Forever.
Well, my comic book shop actually did bring up to me recently, if you ever want to record a podcast here, you're welcome.
I told you in October we should.
Yes. So yes, once you booked your flight.
I booked my flight today, actually.
Okay, so I can,
I'll send you my screenshot, but I
next time
did
I
actually book
go,
my flight today.
I will
Yes.
talk to them. Yes, my comic book shop is awesome. One of the guys, Al, that's there. If you follow Epic Comics, it's in East Orlando, off of Alafaya. So Al posts videos
Okay.
every night
Okay.
before New Comic Book Day, and he
Supernatural
not
panel in
only
San
likes
Diego.
comic books, he also likes beer. I ran into him at a beer festival, and it was really funny because Erica goes, "That's your comic book guy? He doesn't look anything like the guy from The Simpsons." So
Because that's not how it is.
I think in some
Supernatural
places
panel at
it
San
might
Diego
be.
Comic Con next year. That should happen.
So
Don't
Brielle's
play with my
birthday,
emotions.
we're already trying to talk Brielle into wanting to go to San Diego for her birthday.
We're
My
planning to
daughter's
play. It's the
birthday.
30th next year, and I'm going to be gone for 6 months starting next
Wait,
October.
it's the
So yeah, I'd
30th
love to do
next
it.
year? I thought it was over the 24th again.
No, their 30th anniversary.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's
Silly
still over
goose.
the
Ooh, a
24th.
panel of members of Comic YouTube. You dream it, guys. I'll reach out to people and do it. I have
You
no
dream it,
problem.
we can
I
be
was
it.
once called the closer because I would reach out to anybody and everybody for a
That's
reason. So,
true.
but I do want to say a big thank you to everybody who does support, listen to the show, interacts, hangs out with us, who's become friends, who's become family. Because I love Fast and Furious. DT and Pat, Kat.
Family don't end in blood. Wise man
Please,
once told me.
I don't talk to any blood related relatives. Everybody else, they all people I've brought in. Like
One of my
Lauren is.
favorite moments when Matt called Bobby a real one.
I called Bobby. Oh yes, on the he is a real one. Okay, he was their dad. Listen, I could
I
relate
know.
to that the whole way. But I do want to say thank you to like Pat Gibson, DT, Thomas, Andrew, all of the people, my mom, and then new people who have joined the show who recently might have found it tonight. Owen, there's a guy named Owen who left a very funny comment in the chat. He probably just found us and left a funny comment in the chat. I don't care because
I'm gonna find it.
if that's fun, I responded. It was kind of funny. But anybody out there who has listened to us, has given us your time, sincerely appreciate it. Kabongo, if thank you for finding us, and I hope you really enjoy what you have to do. Next week, I don't know what our topic is next week yet, but the week after that, we are going to get into Peacemaker and then slowly kind of go from there. 2025. Yeah, that's what we do, man. If you love comic books, movies, TV shows, you don't even have to like beer. Guess what? This just because we like to drink a beer on this podcast doesn't mean you have to like alcohol.
We also
You
drink
can just
water.
we drink water, we drink tea, we drink coffee, we drink anything else. It's just we like to have a beverage and just talk about things because that's what we should do. Make life
Coffee
a
on
little better.
Comics on Coffee.
Check out comicsoncoffee.com. Go to them. They're awesome, amazing people. They make really good coffee roasts.
Yes.
Roosevelt's, you already know, her universe. I would love to get sponsored by one of the two brands, but I digress.
Well, and if you're going to be at New York Comic Con, Comics on Coffee does lattes with their coffee, and they're
They
phenomenal.
do. And I should have been at New York City Comic Con this year.
Don't at MegaCon.
Anyways, make sure to subscribe, like, share, drop a review on Spotify, Apple, any of those podcasting platforms. That's how the algorithm helps. Hit notifications. We'll try to be doing more live episodes here on YouTube and all of that good stuff. Lauren, any final thoughts as we wrap up this extended episode?
No, we have no idea what we're doing next week yet, but we did drop an awesome Shark Week video about Jaws 4. We just did our Fantastic Four reaction.
We've got
a lot of Superman stuff.
We've got some interviews coming up. Dark Horse Comics. We dropped that interview. It's gonna tomorrow. If you're listening to this right now,
coming up.
We've got our Supernatural episodes. We are going to be diving into Peacemaker, like I said. Then we got our
March.
Fall episodes are coming up. Things like that.
We're going to recap. Gen V comes out next month.
Gen V is in September, so we'll be talking Gen V and stuff like that as well. Movies, we had a really good movie.
Spooky season real soon.
Oh God, it will be. Thank God the humidity is killing me. So, all right, guys, we'll talk to everybody soon. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Cheers. Have a great night or day, whatever time of day or night it is. Well, that was fun. That was a pretty